Starina, reporting for HMP TV. With me I have Angela, who has put on this wonderful event today. I'm going to be asking Angela a little bit of background as to why she's put on the event and how it's been very successful and what you've got happening later on. Angela.
Right. I put this event on, this is my 4th year in doing this, and it was all about bringing businesses together from the African and Caribbean communities to really get out there what everyone does, because I don't think there's enough of that exposure. So the whole thing about team, together everybody achieves more, was to bring people together, the public together, recognition of what we're doing with the economy, and that we're making a massive contribution. That's why I do it.
So you started 4 years ago. Are you a one-woman band?
I am a one-woman band. To start off, I was. It's now extended. I've actually got 3 people that helped me, that make today a successful time.
So you started 4 years ago. I've heard that you've got a ball on later on, which I'm a bit upset because I didn't know, otherwise I would have got my frock out. Can you tell me a little bit about the ball?
Well, that's all again around inspiring and encouraging people. And there's going to be again an opportunity for people that are performers to come and use the platform to entertain 170 guests. And there's a mixture. There's a comedian, there's reggae gospel singer, there's jazz band, there's poets, salsa dancers, and all this is going to be for most of the evening. And then there's also going to be a 3-course African Caribbean meal, and then finally finish up with dancing until 2 o'clock in the morning.
I'm so jealous. But anyway, is this going to be a yearly event, and can you give us a bit more information about how we can find out more about what you do and when it's going to be happening?
This is the 5th celebration of Life Dinner Dance Ball. That's tonight. And how people can find out about it is to look out for Associates of Seed of Mustard, which is AFSOM Facebook page. I say AFSOM because Associates for Seed of Mustard is a mouthful. So yes, people can find it on the Facebook page for Associates for Seed of Mustard.
Thank you very much, Angela. I wish you all the very best. I thank you for what you're doing in the community, because without people like you, this wouldn't be happening. It's a great networking opportunity, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry that you couldn't come tonight.
I'm sorry too.
But tomorrow, next year,
I'll be here.
First refusal.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Angela. Starina, signing off for HMP TV.
Okay, so what you touched on was absolutely phenomenal in kind of understanding the importance and the kind of steps. As a matter of fact, you remind me very much of Dr. Boyce Watkins, who I interviewed when he was over here, I think October last year. But once again, a financial educator, came from an education background and decided, I'm not going to keep it for myself, now let me share this. I think I heard you mention earlier on, but other communities are not going to come out to help us. As a matter of fact, good business is to exploit, and not purposely. It's just good business. They will do business where they see business, and unfortunately, as consumers, we haven't kind of picked up on that. But there is a change, and part of this show is to be able to highlight that to people. 1, that they can see that there's more learning that can be taken on board. 2, where to signpost where that learning could possibly be. And 3, to show people who have gone through those barriers and bust and built their businesses, and then for them to then pass on their acumen to other people in their community, and across a wide range, to show that there's more than this business or that business. You can actually do any business. I mean, a close friend of mine, he's got a skip company. You would never have known that he had one, because it's not the type of business that you associate with black people going into. But he started off as a man with van, and it eventually, built up to, where he is now. He's got a fleet of vehicles. So, watching that process. But I think visualization is key. People to be able to see these processes in action, especially when we live in a world where the TV is dominated by not our images. So therefore, to see yourself as something great becomes somewhat difficult. What do you think the way forward is for the African-Caribbean future people, not only here in the UK but worldwide, especially when there's a really big focus on Africa and there's a real economic power in Africa, which we're not really picking up? What would be your thoughts on that? And also kind of how Brexit may tie into that as being an opportunity to start looking at other places business-wide or globally.
Okay, let me touch on an earlier point. You said, how do we make a difference? and you said psychology was part of it, and I think it's all of it, 80% of it at least. So you have to see yourself as being someone who can actually be part of those who are providing a solution. You have to see yourself as being great. You have to. You have to have the confidence. You have to have the courage. You have to be fearless. You have to be intrepid. You have to go ahead and do what you need to do to fix problems that you see. Now, business is all about saying to you, I will provide this service for you. I'm going to master a skill, and I'll provide that service for you. Either as a service or provide a product that solves a problem for you. Okay, and this is how you get started. But but there's another level. So let's say if you want to go from being a regular guy to a millionaire, that you can do almost on your own. All right. So I'm going to tell you straight up, there's no excuse. If you want to be a millionaire, you can get there on your own efforts. But if you want to be a billionaire, that's another order of magnitude. So let me share with you a brother who was able to become a billionaire by playing a game. And his name was Reggie Lewis. He died in about the 1990s, and he was a billionaire when he died. He was a billionaire. He's an American, and he was playing a game in the area of mergers and acquisitions. He started off as a lawyer, and using leveraged finance, he was able to create an empire that resulted in him being a billionaire. And I believe he was the first black billionaire in America. The first. Before Oprah, before Michael Jackson, before those guys, before Jay-Z, he was the first. And this is the 1980s, 1990s, when he was doing his thing. And he died in 1990s. And so I'm saying you need to see these heroes. You need to see that it's true and that you can do it. And so, because if Richard Branson can do it and become a billionaire, then so can you. And if you think it's because his complexion looks different to yours, Reggie Lewis looks like you. He did it before Richard Branson did it. Okay? You just need to be educated, you need to be smart, and you need to be driven. And you need to have a purpose. And just do your thing. Going back to Edgar and Brexit now. Brexit coming out of Europe is going to cause challenges and it's going to cause opportunities. And you have to position yourself in a way to actually be in front of the opportunity to provide it. Now remember, you have to have some skill set that people want. Or you have to find a business that solves people's problems. And I would just say focus there. Master something that solves people's problems. Your friend with the skip? Builders need to chuck rubbish away when they go into a building and empty it out and put new stuff in. He's solving their problem. He provides them with skips. That's a problem solver right there. So big up to your brethren. And I'm saying to you, we need to solve problems. Not only that, but you've got to solve problems for more than one person. Because what we mostly do, we say, I want to be a doctor, or I want to be an accountant. And you go work for one person, your boss, your company. So you're basically only got one customer. Why not have 1,000 customers paying you £1,000 a month each? Think about that for a second. You've got 1,000 customers paying you £1,000 a month each. How much is that? That's £1 million a month. If you can figure out how to scale up your solution providing services, that's how you become wealthy. And that's what all the billionaires, millionaires do. They scale up something that they can do, and they either do it with other help, with other workers, or they can do it because, like software, you can just sell it by copying it. But the bottom line is scaling up an idea, but solve problems for many, many people.
And just to wrap up, where are you based? If people wanted to find out, and find out a little bit more about what you do. I mean, you speak and you lecture around economics, I presume. So where would, if people wanted to find you or even book you to come and speak and assist others, how would they find you?
Okay. I'm based in London. There's a glorious city called London, and I live in a nice part of the world, in London. If you go to www.milestoneinvesting.co.uk, you'll see my website there. If you want to write to me, info at milestoneinvesting.co.uk. I do, maybe once a month, I'll do a free webinar presentation for an hour, teaching us the skills, the mindset necessary to basically break down our own barriers, because some people will learn quickly and they'll get on me straight away, and some people need to hear an idea maybe 10, 20 times, then it starts to stick. However you learn, doesn't matter. We provide resources, we provide services for you to help you to grow.
Look, an absolutely phenomenal business which is absolutely necessary in our community in order to assist others to reach their potential in some form or fashion. And you're right, each person is different. You've got people go to seminars, get all this information, come out really pumped, can't do nothing with it when they get out, simply because that skill set is not there. Or the elements what help you, and you mentioned determination and all these different skills and all that kind of stuff. So knowing that there's different places to go and upskill and get that, but we make it clear it's important that you do pick up on these skills in order to move into, especially what we refer to as the fourth industrial revolution, which is technology, because many of the jobs which exist today are not going to exist in the next 10, 15 years. So this is something very, very important, and I'm glad to be working with the Young Black Business Awards, who are working to create incubator hubs for young people around tech, so they're connected to a lot of big organisations who can deliver that, and to make sure that these young people are upskilled. But you can have the skill, but you need the acumen in order to turn it into a business. So I really like to thank you and commend you for the great work that you're doing, and hopefully we can get you on HMP TV on our Mind Your Business show, where you can maybe sit with Asari, who's the business coach, and just talk business and them tools that you'd speak about in your webinar to give to people via HMP TV. I'd greatly appreciate that.
One thing about Sari, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to pick up this brother, because he's actually sharing with us a model that if you follow his systems, the systems he can teach you, you will actually become wealthy with his systems about business. And within that model, there is a way to scale your business, and therefore your business becomes a product. The business itself is a product which you can sell. Now, this is one of the ways that billionaires become billionaires. They sell their company for £1 billion. All right? And I'm saying Asari, with his coaching system, has that model. And now, so he will talk about leveraging. He will talk about just leveraging. And it's really fantastic. And I'm saying to you, with leveraging and also with investing, which is I do the compounding side of leveraging too, that combination, and we have it in our community, So if you check out Asari and you check out Milestone Investing, that combination right there, how can you fail?
It's a wrap. Well, I've got one side of the combination on the platform. Now I've got to work on the second side, and we're good to go. But look, I really appreciate you on the show. The whole point of this platform, as you said, it's a service industry. We found a service, and we're just now providing that service to others. And it's a service what people need. So you've given me a confirmation we're in the right space. So with that, I'd like to thank Miles. Do check out his business. Check out his webinars. We'll post the information right here for you, so you can check them out, dates and times, and make sure you get to know this man. You already got to know Asari, but make sure you get to know this man. Miles, it's a pleasure. Great man. Thank you very much, sir. That's HMP TV saying that. We've got one more after this, 2 more interviews, and we're done.
Hi, it's Tarina here for HMP TV. With me I have Nicholas from the BLUK directory.
Yep, it's called BLUK.biz. It's a Black business directory.
Can you tell us a little bit more about it, please, Nicholas?
Basically, it's a business directory that gives black people to have a global platform for their business, basically, so they can advertise their services anywhere they like. It's completely free of charge, as we're launching it on the 1st of November, so we're trying to get the message out there. If I want to talk a bit about why we came to this point, why we developed the website, is because when you look at their national statistics, we've got a high youth unemployment rate. It's currently, in the last report in 2012, it was at 50%, and that was on a steady increase from 2002 when it was I think it was 30-something%. So that's steady on the increase. We've got what else have we got? We've got a business survival rates that are not at its best. So we're trying to do as much as we can to support business and opportunities for black people.
So if I was to log on to your website, is it easy for me to navigate? What do I have to do?
At the moment, when you log onto the website, it's BLUK.biz. Once you log onto the website, you'll be prompted with a message letting you know how to add your listing. So you just click on the add listing button, and then you just follow the e-form, put all your details in there, and then that's all you have to do. It's as simple as that. It takes about less than 5 minutes.
I'm going to be a little bit cheeky. You said it's free.
Yeah.
But I know that for our community, group economics or just becoming economically free is very important for us. How are you going to make out of this, if you don't mind me asking?
How we intend to make our money is by the support services. So it's all about supporting black businesses. So if somebody needs a business plan writing, we can come in, we can help them with that and charge a service for that. Website development, logo designing, cash flow analysis, bid writing. There's loads of different services that we'll be offering to the community. Those will be chargeable. But for the business directory itself, that's going to be completely free for businesses, and we're trying to make it free forever, but we know it'll be free for at least 12 months. So I'm trying to get as many people as possible to capitalize on this launch offer. Go onto the website bluk.biz, whether it's on your phone, your tablet, your laptop. Don't delay, because you delay these things and then you sleep on it and you never end up doing it. You don't get anything free in this day and age in 2016, so we're trying to get people to take advantage of it. Okay.
Thank you very much, Nicholas. You've heard it here on HMP TV. Nicholas is doing a fabulous job. Please, let's support him. We need this for our community, okay? So thank you very much, Nicholas. I wish you all the best, and I'll be signing up soon.
Greetings, this is HMP TV, Helping My People Television. You've got Mr. Wright Robinson in the house again. To be honest, I'm only just standing in for the great Asari St. Hill, who is our Mind Your Business coach. And we've also had Khadijah Ward, who's been taking over, but she's going upstairs to prepare for tonight's splendid dinner, the bash. But so I'd like to definitely thank her for the great work that she's done for the platform today. But now we're here with the man himself. I wake up to this man every morning. I don't find him on LinkedIn, he's in about 15 different WhatsApp groups, Facebook, you name it. This man will come. He's got his face. He's looking at you. He has his smart look. You're going to do it. You're going to do it for us right now.
Good morning. My name is Mervyn Barrett, and I'm your Inevitability coach.
The Inevitability coach, Mervyn Barrett. Now, I've had the pleasure of knowing you for a hot minute. I think I met you initially at Brother Dougie's radio station, and you was being interviewed there, and then that was quite some time ago. And then we've connected, and we always kept.
We were there like all night, man.
With a bleach through, because he loves a bleach thing. I'm staying up, you're going to stay up with me.
Exactly.
He keeps you in the studio, but it was your style of teaching. It was a style of how you communicate. Because there's motivational speakers out there, loads of them, and I feel a lot of people are jumping on because it just seems like an easy way of making money. To me, it's very similar to churches. You've got pastors who care about their communities, and you've got some who just jump on from the bandwagon. They can just grab people on board and sell them hope, and not really much more. Your stuff is very specific. It's very actionable. It deals with a lot of the mind, not just be positive, but how the mind's operating. And I was very, very intrigued about that because I've always had an interest in psychology and how the mind works, and how it can be used for and against people. So you've been out for a while, and then you took a little rest for a period, and now you're firing. Tell me about where you are now.
So I really decided to have a social media campaign. It's rough around the edges, and it still needs a lot of smoothing. So I really recognise that and I'm aware of that. But what I do is post out 5 days a week. I call it a motivational tidbit. So every morning, 5 days a week, 1 minute, just a minute. Take time to listen to a message. You can get it on YouTube, get it on Instagram. I put it on various WhatsApp groups, and sometimes I'm on and off of Facebook. I'm also working on LinkedIn, but on a different approach. So I'm not just using the same platform for everything. I've got a website going now. So all sorts of things are happening in that realm. But I want to pick up on what you said about some people being a bit fake and phony about this. And one of the things that I've really discovered is that when you help people to get themselves, that is when they're most effective. And so at the core of what I do, which is personal development and which underpins the art of self-discovery, is to get people to be really familiar with some personal development tools. Once you get those tools and how they work, then and only then you can do anything.
That kind of leads on to my question. What does that mean for business? Because, and the reason I say that, I was asked to speak at the Dr. Boyce Watkins alongside Dina Kai, Victoria Walker, and Mark and Charmaine Simpson, and Dr. Boyce Watkins. Yeah. And it was a pleasure to be there. But when the question came to me, I opened up with spirituality. But the reason I never got a chance to finish kind of where I was saying, where I was kind of leading. But I understand that without yourself being right, nothing else is going to be right after that. And, so across the board, as a people, we have to get ourselves right by, tapping back into spirituality, what kind of works for us, or at least the principles. And you can find those principles in Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. But how do you apply them to yourself? So, that was, the key point. So in regards to personal development, how key is that for definitely for business and other aspects of your life, but definitely within business?
It's fundamental to everything. You don't have a business unless you're in it, right? So if you're not personally developing, then what are you talking about in terms of developing a business? Your business is you. When you first start out, when most of us first start out, it's an idea you have. That idea is something that's in here, and then you need to grow it and develop it. And that is what personal development can do for you. It helps you to build a relationship, first of all, with yourself. Why would you think about trying to build relationships with other people when you don't get the relationship you have with yourself? That is at the core of all relationships, the one that you have with yourself. And if you're going into business, business is anything. You might go into business with your child. I'm talking about the business of child rearing. The business of being in a relationship, a marriage, the business of being in a community. Everything's business. We just think business is about money. No, that's one aspect of business. It's the one that's probably most people are happy to work in, because you don't get so much pushback in business. When you're in a personal relationship, the business of a marriage and trying to keep it together when she is getting on your nerves, that's a business that requires you to personally develop. You must grow. If you don't grow, you die, and the relationship dies, or the business dies. So
why the inevitability coach? Why forget it.
Inevitability. I help people to think straight. Once you think straight, Robert, then you feel straight. And when you feel straight, you act straight. When you act straight, whatever you want in your life becomes inevitable. It's that simple. Yeah.
So look, you spoke down here. You spoke down here today around those same principles. The wake up call that I get every morning. If people want to get that wake up call from Mr. Mervyn and get that 1 minute taster, to start their morning, where do they find you?
Several places. You can catch me at on Instagram. It's your_inevitability_coach, which is a bit of a mouthful. My name is Mervyn Barrett. So once you press inevitability, the search engine will hopefully come up with me, and you'll see a picture of me going, hey. You can catch me there. Catch me on YouTube, Mervyn Barrett. You can catch me on LinkedIn, which is just again Mervyn Barrett. I've got a website. It's called yourfreedomcoach.co.uk. yourfreedomcoach.co.uk. You can give me a call, man. I'll give you my number. It's 0796 140 6240. 0796 140 6240. Call me. I offer what I call a freedom session. It's an hour's coaching for free. And inside that hour, I guarantee you some freedom from whatever you're dealing with. And I don't care what it is. I don't want to sound arrogant or like I'm bragging. I don't care what it is. I can guarantee you some freedom inside the hour. Call me. Get my number. Give me a call. Book it on my website. Man, I'm so excited about this life that we live.
Let's make it a little bit more exciting. One thing we haven't got round to on the platform, we've got a business show, we've got a solution show, we've got a children's show, we've got a lot of stuff. But what we haven't got is a personal development show. Wow. So we're thinking about doing one. I know this personal developer. His name is Mervyn Barrett. Now, he might be interested in actually kind of spearheading that kind of show. I don't know if you've got his details and whether I can speak to him and whether you think he might be up for something like that.
I got him in my back pocket. He's on speed dial. You call him. You call me, I'll call him, we can get it done. You just let me know.
Well, it's inevitable that it's going to happen. So we have got you're hearing it now. Well, you're not going to hear it now. When you hear it, you're going to actually see it on the platform because it will be done, recorded, shot, and be on the platform. But we're definitely going to do something. I mean, we've kind of spoken in and around that stuff anyway. But I think, but the time is right because that enthusiasm. You see what it was. What just signed it for me now. You switch from me. I've got people to talk to. I've got people to talk to. You get me? Yeah. That's how we do.
Robert, it's so important. It's so important that we live life. Mm-hmm. You need to know how to live your life, not in fear, but in power. You need to know how to live your life in power. You're capable of doing it. You just need the 4 pillars. On the platform, I'll be sharing those 4 pillars with you. They underpin the art of self-discovery. For you to know you, to find out about you, you've got to have these pillars. Once you've got them, that's it. The game's over, mate. The jig is up. Life don't fool you anymore. You take control of your life. Really powerful.
Really powerful, and that's what we need. We need you waking up to HMP TV and hearing that on a regular basis. So look, I want to thank you, Mervyn. We're going to have this conversation off camera, and then you will be back on camera at the HMP TV studios, and we'll make it happen. So we'll sit there and kind of discuss what that looks like. But trust me, it's going to be empowering. You're going to add that to your business acumen. And I've got to ask you a question. Have you read Black Sterling?
I haven't, but Khadijah spoke today.
Yeah.
And what she says makes sense. That's right. I mean, it just makes sense. And actually, if we follow it, it will make pounds and pence, people. Because if you get it, it's in here. And if you get it, you can make pounds and pence. It's that simple.
Which is simply Black Sterling. But, Mervyn, it's a pleasure. All the time.
Pleasure.
So we'll have that conversation shortly.
Yes.
You know, we won't do Costa Coffee this time. Come over mine and see the studio. And that's how we do it. But listen, I love my people. I love black people. I really do. I just love us. Is that what it is now?
The heart.
Okay. Looks like a mole farah or something. But anyway, I'm going to work with it. But look, we'll definitely keep in contact. Make sure you keep it locked to HMP TV. My name's Robert Robinson. This is Team. This is Coventry. Big shout out to Tarina Bennett, Asari St Hill, and Ms Khadijah Ward, who are involved in this whole programming right here. Peace, and we're out of here.
Very good.
Hello, I'm Tarina. I'm reporting for HMP TV. With me today, I have Nia Ballerina, and your name is?
Sharon.
Sharon, can you tell us a little bit about Nia Ballerina, what it means to you, how long you've been doing this, and what you're doing here today?
Hi. Nia Ballerina is a jewellery box. It's a musical jewellery box that I've designed with a black ballerina. The actual inspiration came from really my daughter, who does ballet, and I was looking for a jewellery box for about 18 months with a ballerina that looked like my daughter. Couldn't find one anywhere in the world, so decided to create my own. Nia Ballerina's, the actual name Nia is my daughter's middle name, so it really is, you know, I suppose my daughter is really the inspiration behind it. We've got two designs, so we've got one here which is a deep chest drawer box, and then we've got this one here with a slightly different design with a drawer on. They're available at my website, which is www.nearballerina.com, and we ship the UK, Europe, Canada and the USA.
Michelle, thank you very much for having a daughter to inspire you to create such a wonderful box. My daughter would love this. It's nice to see a reflection of myself and my daughter on these boxes. So I commend you and I thank you, and I wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
Tarina, signing off for HMP TV.
Greetings, beautiful people. My name is Khadijah Ward. I'm the author of Black Sterling and the founder of Dark Girl Boss. I'm here today in Coventry at the team event, talking to various business people, black business people, about their businesses and why they are here today at the team event. I have here with me Mr. Silburn Duare. And we're going to ask him a few questions and find out a bit more about what Silburn does and why he's here today.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Well, I'm here today, firstly, to support black businesses. That's, to my heart. And the second thing is here today is to meet people and tell them what I'm doing and how not to make any mistakes. Yeah, and so that they can share the black pound around. Yeah, I think that's the most important thing. So the company what I own is called London Cosmopolitan Drinks, and which is dear to me. I also own the London Cola, and I have the trademark for London Cola and the patent on that as well. So look forward to seeing that as well. So if you're a black business owner, look for me to be knocking on your door with our drinks. Yeah, they're not going to be carbonated drinks. They're going to be non-fizzy, because that's what we're starting off with. And all I can say to you is that people talk about health conscious. In my world, all I have to do is make it nice for you. And that's the most important thing. If it tastes nice, then you're going to drink it, okay?
So how did you get involved with team, and how the organisation team, how's it helping you?
Well, team is helping me by me meeting future customers. That's the most important thing. And I met team when I was at a place called, Kensington Town Hall. I'd done a ginger beer called True Ginger Beer, and it made me a load of money. I sold it in, it was called the Commonwealth Fair, and I met Angela there, and she invited me to come on team. After a lengthy discussion, and because I didn't know what I could bring to team.
Angela's the founder of team, yes?
That's correct, yeah. Well, our sister, Queen founder, if you put it that way, and the organiser of the event today, who works tirelessly to promote black businesses.
So can you tell business owners about any obstacles you faced in terms of building your business?
Yeah. The area where I operate in, unfortunately, there's not a lot of, to my knowledge, black manufacturers or black owners. So we buy our drinks mainly from other retailers, who interpret what we want, like how they brought in the sugar tax. And how should I say, sugar's all around us. You can get sugar from a mango, you name it, lots of things. So the most important thing what I say to people is just make it true, nice, understand who your target audience is going to be, and then hopefully they'll support you. But you have to present yourself with your final product, packaging, everything like that. And also as well your supply chain. Make sure your supply chain can deliver when your business grows, and that's what a lot of people overextend themselves. And the other thing, which most people are going to find it difficult, is that do not put your house, borrow money, to get a business going in this day and age, because that's what the bank's like, for you to borrow money. You only borrow money when you've got the clientele and you're able to fulfill an order which you think you're going to need to do. But don't borrow money, because you'll get unstuck, paying it back.
Okay, so I have two questions. The first one is, if people can't borrow and they want to start a business, what advice do you give them? Because they need capital to start, don't they?
Yes, they do. And the easiest thing what they do is come together, come to team. That's what it's here for. Meet like-minded people. Come together. All I can tell anybody is that if you share success, it's a lot better than just you being on your own, sitting on your big fat money and not being able to share anything. And if we're going to succeed, that's what I would say. Just come together. You have to meet. Stop with those friends and people say, "Oh, I'm your friend," and all that lot. Go and meet business people. Find the area what you want to be expert in, and get 2, 3, or 4 of you. What I would say, 3 to 4, and then that way you can save up and start with capital. If there's 4 of you and you say we're going to launch in a year's time and we're going to do some leaflets and glossy and that lot, and you say you're going to put in £150 each or £100 each, then you're going to have some money, some capital to start off with, then go into the bank and use that time to actually, write notes down and meet people. You've got some kind of foundation, then rather than, I'm going to run up my credit card, or I'm going to borrow my nan's pension or something like that. Just keep it real. Do not, if possible, borrow money from friends, families, banks. To start a business properly, anybody in the real world will tell you, unless you're on Dragon's Den and they can turn it around in 6 weeks, from concept to getting it live takes anything from 9 months to a year or even longer.
So it seems like you're talking about collective economics, and you know that we have some problems with that in our community. So I'm going to ask you how easy you found that, or not so easy you found collective economics in terms of building your organisation.
What I would say to you, in all honesty, most of us, we buy into what other people are saying, but what they want to do is get their money out as quick as possible, and what they try to do sometimes is take out too much profit. This is how much I'm supposed to earn, this is how much, and what normally happens is that they automatically, just by saying it, they've debt-laden the company so that the company can't operate, because there's other things what needs to happen. Advertising, you just driving around in your car. So if your business is turning over £200,000 and you're making £80,000 out of it, and you've got a big fuel bill because you're up and down at the country, up and down the country, and both of you are taking out X amount, as I said, the numbers have to add up. So what I would say to you, you need people who are experts in those areas. So when you're starting a business, what I would say, don't look for the person who is the same as you. So if you're going to start some fashion company or something like that, look for someone who could be a good drawer or something like that. Look for someone who's good at marketing so that you're not clashing, and that's what normally happens, is the clash. And look for someone who can do accounting, and that way you can do your creative and they do their bit, and it all comes together. If you look in America, look at all the big companies what started, from Apple to Microsoft, you name them, from Google, they all came together at some point, and they all had different skills. Like Steve Jobs, he wasn't the code writer, but he had the best presentation, and people believed in him. People wouldn't believe in the Bill who could write the code, but they could believe in the man who couldn't write the code because he had a better presentation.
Thank you so much, Silburn. Just finally, for any young entrepreneurs that are starting out there, what advice would you have for them, just quickly?
Come together as a team and go get round, meet older people, the wise owls, meet them and ask them what their experience is, because that experience will help you to get over the hurdle. So don't think that you can reinvent the wheel. The wheel was invented long before we knew, and no one can tell anyone when the wheel was invented.
Thank you so much, Silburn. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you people for listening. I'm Khadijah Ward from HMP TV. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
This is HMP TV up here in Coventry. We're with a very significant person, very, very important. Most people wouldn't recognise the importance, so we usually wait until we're ready to pop our clogs before we start looking into things like this. But approved wills, very, very, very important. As a matter of fact, my wife is constantly on me in regards to the issue around wills. So you deal specifically with wills. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your company, and then the importance of why we should be doing a will sooner than later?
Well, basically, my name's Kenneth Mcdonald, and I own Approved Wills. And I realised some years ago that mainly in our community, we tend to put these things off because we don't leave legacies for our children. Where other communities, they have property that they leave to their children, and it's a step up. And one of the main things I try to get across to people is the will isn't for you, it's for your children, it's for your family, because it's what you're going to leave them. And we always want to put it off because tomorrow never comes, or we think we're going to tempt fate. And writing a will, getting it done, drafted properly, professionally, is very important to make sure that obviously your family are going to be taken care of, because people assume that, well, I ain't got to do a will because it's going to go to my family anyway. That's not necessarily the case, because the courts take over and they decide who gets what. So if you're married, then your spouse will definitely get everything, or 50% of what you got, and then it's distributed amongst the children, brothers, your sisters, parents if they're still alive. And another thing that people don't realise is that if you're living with somebody, and you may be living with that somebody for 20 years, but you're not married, if one of you dies, the other one isn't entitled to a single thing. And I think people are a bit surprised that, they can leave themselves open, leaves the families vulnerable, because they haven't really considered, the importance of a will.
Okay, a question in regards to, you mentioned in other communities that they often leave a legacy and so on and forth, and in a black community we're very poor on it. In your travels, have you kind of ascertained the reason as to why that may be the case? Because whether it be the Asian community, whether shops, businesses and so on and so forth, but the black community is very far behind. So in your travels, have you ever come across any reasons why that may be the case?
The main reason seems to be people don't feel they have anything to leave, number one, and those that own property assume that their children will automatically inherit that property, and that is not necessarily the case.
Okay, another question what comes to mind as we speak is in regards to the legacy, because maybe people leave it to the last minute thinking, well, I haven't accumulated nothing as yet. Before I pop my clogs, hopefully I will have accumulated something, then I'll do it then. Can you begin something at a far younger age and always adapt it according to that which you have?
Yeah, you can write a will anytime after 18 years old, because there's many things to consider when you're putting that will together. Because my youngest client is 28, but they've got young children. So this is something that they didn't consider until they started speaking to me. What would happen to their children, who one was 8 months, the other one was 3 years. What's going to happen to those children if anything was to happen to them because they're going away a lot on holiday? One of them, I think he works away, so he's doing a lot of driving. So who's going to look after those kids? People don't think about those things. And when we talk about a legacy, you may not have everything in place that you want right now, but the minute you write your will, whatever you have becomes part of your estate. So even if you've only got £100 in the bank, when you write the will, 20 years later you've got £100,000 in the bank. The will, if it's written correctly, will take care of that anyway, because it will all become part of the estate.
And you assist with helping the wills get written correctly and making sure all that stuff is taken care of. So if people wanted to, I'm hoping people will take this very, very serious. I mean, even having this conversation now, I'm getting the dagger eyes from the wife in regards to maybe having this conversation with myself in the future. And it's very important, but you know, as a person, but many of the people that we come across in HMP TV, we end up doing business with in some form or fashion. So the look I'm getting is that I have to connect with you sooner than later. But in regards to your business, how can people get in contact with you? Are you online? How do people get involved with you?
We are approvedwills.co.uk, but we don't just do wills, we do powers of attorney, because again, that's very important in all communities. You know, if you've got elderly parents, Alzheimer's, dementia, who's going to take care of their finances if obviously they were to succumb or even have an accident? I've got a case that we're dealing with at the moment where lady's mother had an accident, got hospitalised, and so none of her bills were getting paid. Obviously, you know what the banks are like. If you don't pay things on bills on time, they make charges. Then the company that are trying to get the direct debit, they make charges, and you end up spending more money than you need to because we don't plan forward. That's our biggest problem, I would say, within our community. We don't forward plan. We don't look at these things, future events. The only aspect that I would say our parents' generation, people now in their 70s, 80s, look at is funerals. So, my mum bought her funeral plot 20 years ago, and I thought she was crazy. And it's only since I've been involved in this business that I realised how sensible that is to have, a funeral paid for, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, next week or next month. Parents are burying their children. Unfortunately, the normal cycle of things doesn't always work out. So it's important to have all these things in place sooner rather than later.
Well, you've heard it there. We're going to give you that information once again, but make sure in regards to wills, power of attorneys, and that kind of stuff, you check out Approved Wills. We'll give you that information right here in a short moment. Final question. Which type of families are the worst? Because, and I say this only because a good few of my friends, they've gone through, the parents have passed away, the house gets split up, and the wars, what happened between families. So is there a specific demographic who is crazier than others? Obviously, I'm hearing stuff from the Afro-Caribbean, African demographic, and it's crazy, but I'm hoping we're not the craziest.
We're not the craziest. It's the same in all cultures, believe it or not. It's amazing how people change. Siblings, who get on. I've got a couple of friends, white friends, that two sisters that were inseparable. They were like twins. And when the mum died, they started arguing over the silliest of things. And it ended up with one of them kicking the other one out of the house. They stopped speaking to each other for 6 months. And over the silliest of things, inheritance. And it's just crazy.
We've heard it all there. If you just give those details once more for how people can get in contact with you, because it's very, very important you contact this man. If not this man, somebody like him, but preferably this man, because we like to keep the business in the family, as to speak, as and when we can.
Well, yeah, you can get in touch with us and say we are online, approvedwills.co.uk, or you can give us a call, 0800 699 0953. We come to you, so you haven't got to come to us.
There you go. So make sure you check out this man and get involved sooner than later. I'm gonna make this vow to you now. I'm making the vow kind of behind the camera, but I'll be getting in contact with you sooner than later. With that, peace. This is HMP TV.